Hi, welcome to the Lost Birds Knitting Podcast. I'm Allison, also known as Lost Birds on Ravelry. I'm Lost Birds Fiber on Instagram. Feel free to follow me.
Hello, I'm Danielle. I'm also known as Bright D on Ravelry and Lady D Bright on Instagram. Also, feel free to just follow me.
I usually, I'm a little bit selective. I usually, I have like a request. You have to request to follow me, and I do check you out and just make sure you're kind of like crafty or something, and then I follow you back as well. So anyway, just wanted to mention.
I'm not as selective. I'll just follow whatever's, and then if I realize that you're a creeper, I'll just unfriend you or unfollow you.
So, but they can still follow you though, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I'm only selective because sometimes I post pictures of like my son and stuff, so a little bit more personal. Anyway.
No, I completely understand because I think the only entity in my life that gets on Instagram is the pets.
Yeah. So this is episode 15. Today is Sunday, October 26th, 2014. And we're going to jump into our flight plan for the week. So, what are you working on?
Okay, I have Okay, so we normally record at Allison's house, so I come over to Allison's house. I almost had to bring a bigger bag for all of my projects, so I apologize that this is going to be a little long. Okay, so I'm going to try to go fast. We'll see if we can keep up, shall we? Okay, so I am currently working on, in my hand, a barley hat for my sister's boyfriend for Christmas. It is in Knit Picks Brava in Hunter Green. I don't know if you can actually pick up the color, but there's the Pearl Ridge there, and then the rest of it is going to be in stockinette. So that is what I'm currently working on, and I'm working on size 8 double pointed needles. They're from Knit Picks, and they're a little loud, but other than that, it's fine. In the Perry the Platypus bag, I love myself some Perry the Platypus. I am working on a new project you guys haven't seen yet, and it is the Groovy Shawl. And unfortunately, I don't know off the top of my head who it's actually by. But it is, I don't know if you can tell, but I went up to a size 4. It requires a 3.0 millimeter needle. I went up to the 3.25 millimeter or US size 4. As we all know, I'm a tight knitter, so I figured it'd be healthy for the shawl. But the Groovy Shawl is actually it's not mindless, but it's just borderline where you're okay not paying attention for any of those.
Because you have to switch every so often in between.
Exactly. But it's very, very stretchy. And I'm using Miss Babs fingering weight yarn.
It's a deep, it's a deep blue.
I would say it's a
little bit more green, I think.
Yeah, it has a little bit of like teal flecks into it. But it's called the Midnight Hour. And I don't know what it was, but this yarn was calling out from me from my stash, in my sleep, so I needed to cast it on. It had to happen. So, that's also on Knit Picks needles. And I am working on the first sock of a pair, obviously, because I have 2 feet anyways. In the Knitterly Things Vesper sock base, and the colorway is called Witchy Woman. And this is more purple color than it is blue. So you have this very neon green, this purple color here, and then a black line. And I just turned the wheel, and to start on the foot. And I use the fish kiss lips heel. I cannot say that to save my life, seriously.
Fish tips list.
See? But yeah, so there's that in the bowl. And doing magic loop, US size 1s. Those are on my Addies. And I feel like Santa. There's just like so much in that.
Your bottomless bag over there. That's a pretty big bag too. I'm surprised you would have had to.
Right. Okay. Anyways, so I finished off one of my It's All Yellow socks, and it is the blueberry waffle pattern, and I modified it just a little bit to have this large ridge in between.
Is there a reason you did that, or just decorative?
It's just decorative, and then on top of that, like, I figured it would be an easier transition into the foot, or it would be more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, I
into the foot.
I do like it personally.
Into the foot. But anyways, yeah. So I finished that one off, and I have a wee one in the needles. Like, it's just barely got some, like maybe 3 rounds. So there is that. I was playing some knitting roulette today. So I was giving to a little bit of time to everybody. While I was listening to some podcasts and such. By the way, we do enjoy ourselves some Fat Squirrel. She's hilarious.
Yes.
We'll just leave it.
I don't know who wouldn't enjoy
Some Fat Squirrel. So seriously. I mean, seriously, her and apple picking.
Yeah.
10
What is this, like
apples?
the 10th time you've gone? Always a good story.
First off, I want to go buy apple picking.
I know. There aren't. Are there apple? I don't know if there are apple orchards here in Okinawa.
No, just the tangerines, right?
Yeah, they have the Mekon orchards, which are like tangerines.
So
You can go like strawberry picking and stuff.
yeah, but
It's like in a greenhouse though. They're not like it's not a field.
it's in a greenhouse as well. But a lot of the times you can only go to pick to eat versus pick to bring home
That's true too. Yeah, you pay a price and then it's like all you can eat
for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I think you can also sometimes like pick extra and pay by the pound or pay by whatever.
Yeah, for
Not
what?
the pound, but
By the kilo, actually, right?
yeah.
It's like $15.
Or gram, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe here.
From last time I checked, though, it was like $15 or 1,500 yen, depending on the exchange rate.
Yeah.
For every kilo that you picked, or is it half a kilo? But anyways, moving forward. Side tangent. Okay, anyways. I finished off one of my sleeves of my folded cardigan.
Yay.
Yeah, I finally got out of the
And I have
stuck in
another
the
one.
black hole.
To do.
Exactly. we won't talk about that. Anyways.
Second
this
sleeve syndrome.
Exactly. I'm putting the sleeve on my head for right now so I can have room in my bag. Sorry. It's an appropriate place to put it. So I started off the little bit of sleeve on here, but I had to use these needles because I needed the 6s to start off that. So I had to pause on this project in my roulette to finish that hat, or finish the brim of the hat. But yeah, it's this folded cardigan by Headed Fettig. There's some pictures. And I apologize that my pattern is all benty bent, and my cat is out of this blanket for her, even though it's not. That's okay. But there is that, and praise God, that is it.
Okay, so I have a finished object,
Woo!
and I'm going to put them They're awesome. I love them. They came out so good. My mittens. These are the Japanese. Japanese wave mittens by Maya Poffenberger. And these are actually going to be a gift. I am a little concerned because they fit me like perfectly, just about. They might be a little snug on the person I'm gifting them to.
Are your hands bigger than mine?
Oh, they're about the same. I mean, try them on. Okay. You tell me what you think. But you know what? If they're too small, I'll just take them back and knit a bigger pair, and I'll keep these.
These guys are given them. So
they do. They have a little bit. I mean, I think they'll just be like snug fitting gloves, which is, I think is okay. It kind of makes you don't want a floppy mitten. It makes them like hard to do anything with. So I really think they'll be okay.
I'm gonna say, look at this. Look how well Elsa did. Like it even. This is thumb.
Yeah, that's the thumb, and it
lines up.
Isn't that crazy? I love this. This pattern is a free pattern too.
No way.
Yeah, free pattern, and it is beautiful. So it's been a little while since I've done any like Fair Isle type knitting, so I think my
we have a giant win for Miss Allison.
Okay. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's a really cool pattern. It's not me. I just follow the pattern pretty much exactly. So they are really beautiful. And although the pattern, actually, I did go up a size on needles, and she used like Tanis Fiber Arts, so maybe a worsted weight yarn, and this is a worsted weight yarn as well, but maybe it's a little bit bulkier than the worsted weight that she used. But I did go up a needle size, and they're still like, they fit my hands pretty well, and I have pretty small hands, so I would highly suggest, if you're going to try this pattern.
And you're a loose knitter.
Yes,
so like,
and I'm a loose knitter. And part of it is that it's stranded, so there's not quite as much give. They're not as stretchy as something that's not stranded, but I went up a needle size, and I'm glad I did. So anyway, there's my finished mittens, and that left me with nothing on the needles because I finished the socks.
Isn't that awkward? I think that's awkward.
Yeah, and so what I did was I cast something on really quick right before Danielle got here, basically. So I have, this is what I'm working on. It is this kit that I got from Knit Picks a long time ago, and like I said, you're gonna see a lot of Knit Picks because I have all this stuff, and I want to get it out of my stash. So it's this bag here, and it looks like it should be felted, but it's not. It's just this kind of cool chevron, and it's using. It was a kit, and it's using the. Let's see. This is Wool of the Andes in Amethyst Heather, and then it uses 2 different colors of chroma. Chroma worsted.
For the body?
Yes, for the chevron. For this like color shift chevron pattern. So this is, let's see. This is Regency, and this is Midwinter. So one's kind of like a bluish purple to gray, and one's kind of like a pinkish purple to gray. So it's pretty. I think it'll be pretty. And then I have something else that I'm going to cast on as well. I'm going to do another pair of socks. So this is actually yarn that I dyed quite a while ago. A little while ago. And yeah, it's like a dark blue, like an aqua kind of color, and a bright yellow, and then there's some white as well. And I love need contrasting toenail, so I'm gonna use this like sparkly softener. This is Nit Picks as well. It's like Stroll Glimmer, I think is what it's called. So that's it for me.
So
yeah, I'm excited to get some like new things going here. I've been working on my last projects for quite a while,
So may I put a question out to the audience? So I am having a bit of difficulty with the ball winder and Swift that I currently own. I have a Nit Picks ball winder and Swift, both from them. And I was wondering if you guys had any suggestions on getting a better ball winder and Swift that I could possibly request for the holidays.
You know what? That is funny that that's your question because I also have a Nit Picks. I don't have a Nit Picks Swift. I have a skein winder that I got somewhere else. I think I got it on Etsy. But I have a Nit Picks ball winder, and I definitely need to upgrade. It's fine. Like I haven't had trouble with it really, except that I find the clamp on it is not very good. So it's like popping off the table if you clamp it down. And it does have a handle, like you can hand hold it too, which is what I've been doing. But it's like kind of awkward because it's going like this in your hand because of the spinning motion, and also it's kind of small, so you can't make huge cakes with it. And I find that I have like either bulky yarn or I have like more quantity than will fit on the ball winder. So I actually liked that ball winder. I think it's a good value because
it's a good start.
And it's absolutely a good like start for if you just need to wind a few skeins or something. But it's a little small. That's my main complaint. So
and my main complaint right now is that my ball bearings are going out. So like you can hear them rattling in their shaft. So I am in need of upgrading before I do not have a ball winder.
Yeah. Ball winders can be fairly expensive from what I've seen. Like besides the Nit Picks one, I think like the next like price jump is $50 for those royal ball winders. But I might be interested in something even a little bit more industrial than that. So.
Yeah, because I am digging the Yowza What a Skein from Miss Babs.
Oh yeah.
And that thing is honking. Like it's huge.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. But so obviously the Nit Picks ball winder cannot handle it pretty much at all. So I have to get like maybe a fourth of it done and then hand wind it from there.
Yeah. See, I wound a bunch of my hand spun the other day, and I was coming across that problem too. I'd just have to wind it on the ball winder until it was full, and then I had to like just wrap the rest around by hand, which worked fine, but it was annoying. And I definitely am in the market for heavier duty ball winder.
So if you guys know anything or have reviewed something and it was junk and you would like to put it out to the world for the betterment of society, let us know.
Yes, and in particular for me, I'm looking for something that makes huge cakes. So capacity is important. Alright, so anyway, we only recorded like 4 days ago. We recorded late.
And I have yet to put the podcast. I apologize.
Yeah, we're a little bit behind. All I was gonna say is we only recorded 4 days ago, so this is probably going to be a short episode, and I don't really have a lot to talk about for...
I'm assuming you didn't have any off course.
Oh yeah, sorry. No real off course for me. Did you?
No real off course other than the stitch holder and I.
What stitch holder is that?
That has the live stitches on my sleeve.
Oh, okay.
Did not get along. There's some words that were said. And so it wanted to stretch out my knitting, and I wasn't a fan of that. So I had to talk it down. I had to talk it down for a little bit, and it was good to go.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really trying to think, but I didn't. It's not really off. I'm good. Other than here's one. I made the mistake of letting my son try on these mittens before they had thumbs. Like, I just let him stick his hands in there while they were like on the needles and everything, and that was stupid of me. That was really silly because, of course, then all he wanted to do was wear these mittens around with like the needles hanging out. And so there was that, and then I actually, when I had gotten them off the needles, first I started wearing one around like a booty. It didn't have a thumb yet, and so it actually like fit him kind of like a slipper. It was kind of cute, but then he was walking all over with my mittens. So don't let your 2-year-old wear your half-finished project. I learned my lesson the hard way. What did you do the rest of the week? Anything interesting?
So we recorded last Wednesday.
Yeah.
And on Thursday, I went and got my toes done.
Okay.
And was able to finish the sock while I was getting my toes done.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like the pedicure place that I go to, they do nail art, so it's very, very detailed. Like, the flowers are super detailed, etc., etc. So like I always feel bad when they're trying to paint my nails and I'm knitting. Sorry, correction there. But anyways, it's not correction. So like I hold like perfectly still because they're using this tiny little paintbrush, and I'm like, I'm not gonna cause them any more anguish and grief by being all wiggly. So there's that, and let's see, Friday was just kind of a normal day, and my husband and I hung out in the house. I helped him pack a little bit. He got home last Sunday, and but he's off into the world again. See, Saturday I helped at the championship roller derby bout. So I was helping keep score and that sort of stuff, and transmitting the score across the gymnasium. So that was a lot of fun. And of course, the gym, unfortunately, gets really, really hot in there. So it was really funny because my husband wanted to see a movie afterwards, and I'm like, I have got to shower. It's just going to happen. And so the roller derby bout actually ran late because there was a lot of timeouts, calls were being missed, and all this other stuff, and heated words were being exchanged, and etc., etc. I really thought that one of the coaches were going to pop a blood vessel. So, and I would say, if anybody has been to a roller derby bout, they know exactly what I'm talking about, because they get intense.
I'm sure there are emotions involved when there's so much, like, physical contact.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's so aggressive and exciting.
And it's all, like, super high energy and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and, so, yeah, there was some not so legal hits. During it, one girl, like, she came with. If anybody knows anything about centrifugal force, if you go on the outside, you'll keep going from the momentum, right? I'm talking about science here, people. Keep up. So if you go so fast so the track is an oval shape, correct? So if you go so fast from here on the outside, it cut the top of the key of the track, and you have the momentum from that. You pretty much have to go to the outside of the other side of the oval. So like from here to here. So you kind of end up making this kind of an eye shaped or like a diamond shape versus an actual oval shape of the track, right? So this girl was coming in super, super fast. Wasn't supposed to be coming in super, super fast towards the pack, and she was the jammer, so she was the person who actually made points during a play or a jam. And another girl comes in and just uses her momentum to throw off the jammer's momentum and just sends her flying about 3 feet in the air. The entire gym goes, oh! So we were all commenting on that later on about how, because she got right back up, so we were all commenting how well she could take a hit. And so that is that. And then the movie that we went to was Dracula. And
like a new one?
Yeah, a new one.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It has no life briefcase, it's fine. But we went and saw Dracula. It's Dracula, the Untold Story. And essentially how he was a prince trying to defend his lands and his country and that sort of stuff, and how he went and saw essentially a demon in order to gain his powers and protect his land, rather than, this bloodthirsty person. And I personally am super interested in Dracula lore and legend. Not specifically because I am like a vampire person, but just because like it's lore and legend that has been around since the 1700s.
So like specifically Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know that about you.
I really love the book The Historian, though it is a little bit dry reading it at times because it's such a thick book. But I highly recommend it. So that's my bird call. I'm inserting the bird call here. We'll reiterate it later.
Okay.
Is the book The Historian. I don't. But
I'll look it up for the show.
Okay, awesome. But the person who wrote the Historian has also produced, I think, 2 known other history book, like kind of historical fiction books. Also very good from what I hear, but I haven't personally read them. So we'll check that out. But other than that, here we are on Sunday, and I have just been kind of hanging out all day, other than taking my husband to the airport today, or saying sayonara.
Again? Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
Yep. So there's that. They gave us a window of time this time of anywhere between 10 and 18 days of being gone. So I'm like, so you're in reality telling me 20 days, right?
Yeah. You never know. You really don't.
Well, and this last time when he was in the Philippines, he was supposed to be back a week earlier than what he Philippines. But I don't know if you all heard about the murder that occurred in the Philippines. So
I forgot to ask you about that. I did hear about it.
yeah. So if anybody hasn't heard, a younger Marine, from what I understand, he was either a PFC, which is a private first class, or a Lance Corporal. They were out in town for. They were allowed to be out in town for 1 day. 1 day. They couldn't play nice for 1 day. Seriously.
Could not murder someone for 1 day.
No, apparently.
Which was awful. And
so from the sounds of it and the I guess video surveillance, I don't know. Maybe no, not this one was not video surveillance involved. Please forgive me. That one I got wrong. But from the sounds of it, though, it was a argument about money and payment of services rendered.
Yeah. So in other words, the person, the victim, was a prostitute.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say I wasn't gonna spell it out that way, but that's
yeah. Well, I just yeah, it was very, very unfortunate.
Right. And so the Philippine government wanted to keep that very specific Marine there to be tried underneath Filipino law. However, he is currently with the U.S. Embassy there. There's been a lot of talk in the military community on whether or not the U.S. should just hand him over because it would be an example made of him. That you can't do this and be expected to be protected. I'm going to say I'm not going to give my opinion one way or another. It's just how it is. But anyways, he got stuck there for a week and a half or so because they wouldn't let ships, airplanes, any type of transportation vessel in or out of Philippines with U.S. troops on it until they got the matter a little more sorted out and investigated and that sort of stuff. So that was all types of fun. Not really. That was completely and utterly sarcastic. But
so yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Away from the subject of murder and prostitution, and and on to more lighter notes. What did you do this week?
In all honesty, well, it's only been 4 days. I really haven't done all that much. I did teach another class this weekend, and
which class was it?
This was a yarn spinning class. So, and it was a drop spindling class more specifically, and the lady that took the class was only one person this time, which is usually anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, she was a knitter originally. Like, oftentimes, believe it or not, the people that take my class, my drop spindling class, they aren't knitters, or they're maybe interested in knitting, but they haven't really started yet. So, this lady was a knitter, so she talked a lot about that.
So how does a person start into spinning and not have a reason to use the yarn?
Well,
how do they even find out about it? Because
yeah, I'm sure they see my class in particular in the class list and see the descriptions. And for example, one of my last classes, a mother and her 2 daughters took the class, and they were all taking the crochet class or something from another teacher, and then they saw the yarn spinning class and thought, they were complimentary. So there was that. Another lady was she was just interested in spinning. She wasn't a knitter or anything. She just really liked fiber, and she was interested in owning alpacas or something when she got back to the States, and so she just wanted to take the spinning class to take it. So her to learn to spin, even though she wasn't a knitter. And actually, you would be surprised, I think, how many people start spinning before they knit. I'm always surprised, but I do see it all the time.
Yeah, because you're probably like, oh, I just spun all of these skeins.
Yeah.
What the hey do I do?
Yeah, exactly. And I personally, never even considered spinning yarn before I started knitting, so, the thought never crossed my mind. So yeah, it's always interesting to me too, but you would be surprised how many people start spinning as opposed to knitting and crocheting. So anyway, I did that. I taught my class, and we had power this time.
Hey, success!
And I'm also planning an upcoming art project here, I think. And so it's going to involve drawing. So I've been testing out some new art supplies for that. And let's see, Emerson and I went to the park one day, and we brought it's a very small park. I mean, it's mainly grass, and then there's a sandy area that has a swing and a slide and a climbing structure. So we brought our sand. He's always interested. He's not usually interested in climbing and going down the slide as much as he is in just he takes his shoes off, and he's just he's practically rolling in the sand. So this time we brought pails and shovels and sand toys, and we played in the sand for an hour, and then we always have to take a bath right away when we get home because we're both, me too, are covered in sand. And it was really cute. There were two other little girls that showed up, and when they came up, and they were just so interested in the sand toys, so we ended up sharing, and they were all playing in the sand toys. It was really cute. So that was fun, and trying to think if we did anything else of note. I can't think of anything. That's probably it. And I don't really have any bird calls either, and I don't have anything that I got in the mail.
I don't have anything that I got in the mail either. However, I did make a purchase at the bookstore that I forgot to bring with me. So I will have to bring it with me next week.
What is it?
It's her first name is Wendy, but it's a Stitch dictionary called Up, Down, and All Around. And you probably have heard other podcasters talk about it, but oh my goodness, it is brilliant. Because not only do you have the stitch styling and the cabling and all these other different types of little swatches, motifs, and that sort of stuff, directions to do them, knit flat and in the round, and then some of them even upside down. I was like, this is the most helpful thing I have ever seen. Because not only could you just go verbatim for it, but you could also say you have something like a hat pattern or whatever else that said, please knit this flat. But if you take some considerations from this book in terms of how to convert something from flat to round, you'd be able to do that. You'd be able to do the math or whatever else in order to get this from a flat, piece that you have to later seam, and I'm not a fan of seaming personally, to round piece that all I have to do is weave them 2 ends.
You know what? That is kind of interesting because last year I made I gifted it away, but I made like a cowl, but it was the pattern was for knitting in the round. You're just supposed to knit it solid in the round, and I wanted to make it like so that you could take it off without pulling it over your head, because the person I was gifting it to like often has their hair done and you know it might be concerned about that. Yeah, so I put buttons down the I wanted to make it with buttons, you know, a button band. And I didn't even think about how I didn't think it would be difficult to convert this pattern from flat or from round to knitting it flat, but it was like I don't remember exactly what the difficulty I had was, but I had to frog this thing like 3 times before I finally figured out what I was doing wrong. So yeah, that is something you don't think about being difficult sometimes, but yeah, they're fun difficulties. So interesting. You got it at the bookstore here?
Yeah.
Surprising.
Yeah, no, that's one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to show it. I was like, oh my gosh, this was at the bookstore.
Yeah, I mean, they often have a very limited selection.
Right.
And it's just like the most popular stuff. So,
or if it's something older and random.
Yeah.
But anyways. So we hope you have a great week.
Yes.
If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let us know.
Please do, and let us know your ball winder
recommendations.
Yes.
Please.
And we will talk to you guys next week.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.